This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. This is a sponsored message. I've been using Anchor as my podcast host for a while now, and it's been a pleasure to use. Anchor offers benefits that most other hosts do not. It's free to use, but it also has a collection of tools that allow you to create a podcast completely within the Anchor website or smartphone app. They distribute your show to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other distribution channels without any additional effort on your part, and you can make money from your podcast without any minimum audience size. So you can use it as a more traditional podcast host like I do, but it's also got everything you need to start a podcast from scratch. If you're keen to give it a shot, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Let's talk about the news. From The Guardian, third of world economy to hit recession in 2023, IMF head warns. The head of the International Monetary Fund has said that about a third of the global economy will be in a recession in 2023, due in large part to weakened economic activity in the US, Europe, and China. This follows a trimming of the IMF's global economic growth forecast last October from 6% in 2021 to 3.2% in 2022, before popping up a little to 2.7% in 2023. She also said the US might manage to avoid a full-on recession, but China will likely be hobbled by their resurgent COVID infection wave and 2022's economic downturn from their now retired COVID-0 policies, while Europe will continue to suffer from an energy shortage and the knock-on effects of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As it turns out, it's not all bad news in Europe, though. From the New York Times, natural gas prices in Europe fall to pre-invasion levels. On Tuesday, the wholesale price for natural gas in Europe was down to 76 euros per megawatt hour, substantially below the around 88 euros per megawatt hour it was selling for the day before Russia's invasion of Ukraine last February. That's good news in the sense that fuel shortages and energy market instability have caused huge price surges in recent months, and there were concerns that the cold winter months would make things even worse. Fortunately for the EU, the bloc was able to find numerous alternative sources of gas and other fuel resources, and the winter has been mild, at times even record-setting warm, so prices have retracted substantially from their highs, though it's likely homeowners and businesses will continue to see high prices for a while longer, till the Dutch futures contracts these prices are based on become the current-day reality. And from Reuters, Russians furious at commanders over Ukrainian rocket strike that killed scores. The Russian government has announced that 63 of its soldiers were killed by a Ukrainian strike on a vocational college in a city in Russian-held Donetsk, which the soldiers were using as a temporary barracks. Ukrainian officials and a few Russian nationalist bloggers have said the death toll was actually in the hundreds, and those bloggers and some Russian officials have criticized the Russian military, demanding that military leaders be punished for their ineptitude, in this case because this barracks had ammunition stored on site, and Ukrainian rockets reportedly hit those ammo dumps, blowing them up and demolishing the makeshift barracks in the process. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.